Truck drivers lie for a living. Not in a malicious way, just in the way that lets you survive 10 hours of asphalt, late deliveries, and silence broken only by dispatch chatter. But my husband didn't lie to survive. He lied to escape. He used the road like a church confessional. He'd leave on Thursday mornings with a thermos of coffee and a kiss to the cheek, and come back Sunday night smelling like someone else's soap. Not mine. Never mine. I should have caught on sooner. The longer showers. The deleted GPS logs from his trucking app. The truck stop rewards points showing activity 2 states away from where he claimed he was hauling. But I was a loyal wife. 17 years of folding uniforms and packing sandwiches taught me how to push doubts down and smile when he walked through the door. Until one Sunday, his phone buzzed while he was in the shower. A name I didn't recognize. Mel Dispatch. But the message? Can't wait to see that curve again. Hope you bring that bourbon this time. Dispatch doesn't use kissy faces. And bourbon? He'd stopped drinking 5 years ago. But instead of confronting him, I opened a new tab and ordered a GPS tracker small enough to fit in a duffel bag, with a battery life longer than most apologies. Before I show you how I turned a truck stop affair into a corporate scandal, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment saying, "Buckle up." You're not going to want to miss how this one ends. Because his little side trip? It wasn't just personal, it was federally illegal. I planted the tracker during a load switch in our driveway. Didn't even need to hide it. He never checked that bag. And then I waited. For 3 weeks I watched him roll out across 3 states until he made the same detour twice, always on Friday nights, always in that no-name town outside Knoxville. That's when I knew. It wasn't just cheating. It was patterned, repeatable, and provable. And if I could track it, so could his employer.
So could the DOT.
So could the IRS, once they saw how much fuel he'd billed to company cards in towns he never declared. I didn't need drama. I wanted documentation. There's something empowering about watching a liar trap himself in real time. Every ping from that GPS app was another lie unraveling. Every motel address, every unregistered stop, it all became part of a quiet case I was building, one screenshot at a time. But the delivery? That was my masterpiece. 3 weeks after I installed the tracker, I shipped a care package via overnight FedEx, delivered to the exact same cheap roadside and where his truck sat every Friday night. Inside the box, a copy of our marriage certificate printouts of text messages I had cloned from his cloud, 3 high-resolution photos from the motel parking lot taken by a freelance PI, and a handwritten note on lavender stationery that read, "He told you I was crazy. He told me you didn't exist. Here's what we both know now." But that wasn't the real payload. The second package, sent to his fleet supervisor, contained time-stamped GPS records showing unauthorized detours, motel stops during working hours, and proof he'd charged fuel to the company for non-haul mileage. The third package? That one went to the company's insurance auditor, noting that he was transporting hazardous freight but deviating from approved routes to spend weekends. Off-route and off-duty. I didn't need to yell. I just needed them to read. The fallout didn't take long. By Monday, his employer launched an investigation. By Tuesday, his route was suspended. By Wednesday, he came home with a confused look on his face and an envelope in hand. He stood in the doorway like a man expecting sympathy. "Babe, something weird's going on at work. They think someone's trying to sabotage me." I poured him coffee. The same mug he used to carry on the road. Except this time it stayed home. I smiled, leaned in, and said, "Maybe it's time you stopped driving in circles." Mel, short for Melanie, I'd later learn, wasn't the seductress I imagined. She wasn't glamorous. She wasn't even discreet. She was entitled. The moment my package landed at that motel, she didn't do what a smart mistress might do, disappear. She called. Not him.
Me.
My phone rang at 11:43 p.m. I stared at the screen, saw the number, and picked up without a word. On the other end, a voice that dripped with rage and desperation hissed, "You think you're clever? You think ruining his job makes you better? He told me you were nothing. That he only stayed with you for the insurance."
Oh,
So that's what he told her. I waited. Let her talk. Let her spew all the things he'd obviously fed her. The lies, the half-truths, the pity plays. He said you were sick, that you couldn't even. I'm not the one calling from a motel. I cut in calmly. And you might want to check your bank account, because the credit card he used wasn't his.
click.
That call was the final thread unraveling the whole illusion. The next morning, Melanie, sweet, side-of-the-road Melanie, did what most women in her shoes eventually do. She started leaking everything. She sent me a message on Facebook under a burner name, dumping photos, videos, text transcripts, and even voice memos he'd sent from the truck cab. She gave me names of other women she suspected. One of them was a waitress in Georgia. Another was a truck stop masseuse in Indiana. And then she dropped the nuclear one. I have a video of him making deliveries with an open beer can in the cab. Want it? Oh, sweetheart. I didn't just want it. I wanted DOT to want it. By the end of that week, I sent Melanie's little gift, plus a full folder of route violations, to his company's legal team. And I sent the same package to his union. My husband had driven that truck for 15 years. But he wasn't ready for where I was taking him. The letter came certified. Not addressed to me, but I intercepted it. It had that familiar government envelope stiffness, the kind you only feel when taxes or licenses are involved. Return address? Department of Transportation. He came home that night later than usual.
No bouquet. No excuse.
Just a hollow quiet that hung off him like diesel fumes. He tossed his keys on the counter and slumped into the chair he'd once sworn was his throne. I slid the envelope across the table. Didn't say a word. Just watched. He opened it slowly. Too slowly. His eyes darted back and forth. Then stopped. His breath caught in his throat like a man reading his own eulogy. Because he was. Effective immediately, your commercial driver's license has been suspended pending investigation into multiple reported violations, including unauthorized route deviations, use of alcohol while operating a commercial vehicle, and improper cargo logging. He dropped the paper. This is a mistake. No, I said, standing over him. It's a summary. He tried to blame the company. Then Melanie. Then a jealous coworker. But you could see it in his eyes. He knew. The Department of Transportation doesn't suspend lightly. Not without cause. Not without proof. And I'd given them plenty of both. I watched him panic over the next few days. He tried to call in favors. Pulled out old union contacts. Claimed he was being framed. But none of them returned his calls. Because the other letter I mailed, that went to every regional dispatcher in his network, with a summary of Melanie's footage and the time-stamped GPS logs. He was untouchable now. Not in the way he imagined, though. No company would insure him. No one would assign him a route. No one would touch the man whose side hustle had become a federal liability. And me? I poured myself a drink. Then I opened a fresh document on my laptop titled Divorce Filing, Grounds, Adultery, Fraud, and Public Indignity. He had no idea I'd already seen the deposit. 2 days after his CDL was pulled and the affair was dragged into daylight, his final paycheck landed in our joint account. A severance, technically. The company had to pay out in used vacation and safety bonuses. The ones they hadn't discovered were falsely claimed yet. $8,437.19. He never noticed I had it frozen within 3 minutes of it landing. I was already at the bank when he called. I just checked the account. Where the hell is my money? I smiled into the phone. Oh, the joint account? You mean the one you used to buy whiskey for waitresses in Tennessee? He paused. The silence stretched. I let him fill it. I need that money. I'm unemployed,
Divorced?
publicly disgraced. I clicked the call off. See, I'd been patient, meticulous, but I wasn't interested in revenge for the sake of spite. No, I was building justice like a house, brick by brick, document by document. So, what did I do with the money? I donated it, every last cent, to a national nonprofit that offers legal help to wives of truckers. The ones who find themselves abandoned in strange towns, left with babies, unpaid rent, or worse. And then I forwarded the donation receipt to his email with one line. You took the wheel. I took the map. He tried to contest it in court, of course. But since I'd already filed for divorce and had all the evidence of marital fraud, infidelity, and financial deception, the judge ruled it as predistribution to marital harm relief, which is legalese for, she earned it, you burned it. Melanie ghosted him. The company blacklisted him. His union never returned his calls. And me? I bought a new mattress, started a podcast, and every Thursday night, instead of crying over his absence, I tell the story of how a cheating trucker forgot that his wife had a better GPS. Her gut. Drop a comment. Not all who wander are faithful. Like, subscribe, and share this with someone who forgot how powerful quiet revenge can be.